Hi, my name's Steve, my business partner Austin, and today we're going to talk about content marketing and how to structure that and have a strategy for each client. And what exactly does that look like? So if you're just posting up crazy stuff, random stuff with no strategy, 90 days later, you might not have made an impact. So what should your strategy be? Why does posting content sometimes fail? Well, if you don't have any type of a strategy, you're probably not going to end up in a good spot. And when you're working with clients, you need it to work out. So, what is the secret there? What's the secret sauce? Well, before you build anything, you kind of need to know what kind of clients you're trying to reach for. So, in this particular area, we've got Stamford, Connecticut Auto Repair. It's pretty easy to know with local businesses that what our local market is. Stamford, Connecticut, it starts there and goes out a little bit. But so the location we got right, and then what kind of people usually come to the auto repair places. So we'd probably be looking at probably men come there more than women, I would think. So maybe we could target areas that there are more men than women, although women still obviously need auto repair too. So we got to keep that in mind.
The men do it themselves more.
What was that?
The men do it themselves
Yeah,
more.
men do it themselves more. So there's a lot to consider there. But there's different ways you can research who the ideal client is. But even talking to the business owner themselves and finding out, what type of clients usually come to you. Are they usually men? Are they usually women? What ages? That kind of stuff will help. Um, and you've got to know stuff ahead of your competitors. So your competitors will be competing for the same people. The more information you have can put you ahead of them. Let's just look at a quick website here. I don't know. So let's look at Shipping Auto Repair. See what they've got going. So you guys have been following us for a while. You know you'd want to get your city in there, and you'd want to get your call to action in here. So we'd like to get a click to call right in here. And I know it's up there, the phone number, but it right here helps with conversions. At least they got locally owned, but they don't tell us what the locality is.
So,
Yeah, even though it's up there, we still need it. We still need it in here, and I would like them just to spell it out again for me. What does locally owned mean? So, but overall, that's not too bad of a website. I think they did a pretty nice job. They've got a little section for auto repair, and I'm guessing, yeah, so they knew enough to have a separate page for that. So overall, that website, is decent. Um, Ask them what questions they get asked over and over by customers, and then include that in your content. What's worked or failed in content marketing for them before, and figure out their brand voice. Read through their stuff, talk to them, and talk like they would. Let's look at another one, and let's just kind of get an idea of what their voice might look like. So there's a lot of writing here. Let's see if we can find out something better. But you get an idea. They're kind of matter of fact. Get right to the point. Type of thing. They don't have a lot of images and nothing like that. So they're basically just getting information out to you the best of their ability, and it's just in a quick matter of fact mechanic type tone. So you have to anybody you deal with, you've got to kind of talk in their voice and talk how they might talk. So it's not quite always as easy as it seems. AI can help with some of this too. If you put in some of this information in AI and say I'd like it in the same kind of tone, voice, that can help, and then you can rewrite what they wrote for you to make sure it's really good. And set a goal. Um, Content strategy can be different based on your goals. So, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to get visibility? Are you trying to build authority and trust? Do you want to get leads out of this? Make sure you know what that goal is so then you know how to write the content for each person you're writing for. If you don't know that, you're going to be probably writing the wrong stuff. So if you're trying to get visibility, you want stuff that appeals to a lot of people. So you want to get the local keywords in there, that type of thing. If you want to build trust, authority type things, education will help with that. And so you want to write in that kind of tone. So just know what you're writing for and then adjust accordingly. I'm going to turn it over to Austin now.
Control, yeah.
Right there.
So pick the content pillars. So you want like a few things max, like, oh, here's behind the scenes, here's what we do for the local community, here's some client education, here's I don't know what you would use, and why, and explain why the pillars prevent the what do I post about this week problem. And you can use a quick example using like a real client. So say like a Volkswagen came into this car shop, and you can show before, like, oh, it didn't turn on when you turned the key, but now we got it and it turns on right away. And like before and after, like real example. And so you kind of want to map content to the funnel. So the top of the funnel is like educational broad reach stuff like blog posts and GBP posts. The middle is just trust building, like testimonials, case studies, frequently asked questions. And the bottom is conversation focused, like offers, call to actions, stuff with urgency, and show how one piece of content can be repurposed across the funnel. So you want also, step 5, you want to build a calendar and cadence. So how often is realistic? Don't overpromise. Weekly beats daily, and you quit after a little bit doing daily. Platform specific notes like GBP versus Facebook versus website blog cadence. Batch planning a month at once versus day-to-day scrambling. Step 6, set the feedback loop. What metrics actually matter? Engagement versus leads versus visibility. How to report this back to the client so they can see why behind the work. Adjusting the strategy after 30, 60, 90 days based on real data.
All right. So if you're trying to get visibility and you post up, let's say something about, let's just say how to fix your brakes, a do-it-yourself on how to fix your brakes. That would be excellent for building up authority, and excellent for maybe building up some trust. People know what you're talking about, but it's not going to be good for visibility. If you're trying to build there's going to be very few people that are going to read that and want to learn exactly how to do this themselves. They're going to be too afraid that trying to fix my brakes, I'm going to end up getting hurt, going to get somebody else hurt. So when you're looking, you've got to know your plan before you start. You got to know your goals and then plan accordingly. Thank you for watching. We appreciate it. Comment, like, subscribe. We'll see you tomorrow.